UKVLEZZ. Episode 3. Let us go. Now sometimes we're gonna be wanting to zoom in real nice and close when editing the tape, and it's gonna be a problem because there's no proper official zoom function. So we're gonna have to work around this. The one way you could do it is actually like this. You and me, are gonna make the looping function work in our favor as a zooming magnifying glass. Move in small increments and then set your loop points real close to each other. Loop out, you see now how it's stretched out, nice and stretched. So we get a better view of just what the fuck we're doing, because sometimes it can be pretty difficult on the OP-1. When you're a little bit more seasoned user of the OP-1, you're gonna find yourself using this shit all the time for navigation quickly. Quick tape and navigation skill set. One thing I urge you to do is make a habit of always setting the loop in point to whatever section of the tape you're working on. If you ever get off track, lost on Iceland like Tom Hanks, you can easily skip back to there by just pressing the stop button twice. All we need to do while playing is press stop twice. It's gonna skip right back there. Perfect. Say for example, you wanna go to another part of the tape and it still has to do with the beat you're working on. Maybe resample, manipulate the sound somehow, and then come back to here. It's gonna be really quick for you if you have your loop start point set to the main focus area of your workings. What happens if we press stop and left? Wow, it skipped all the way to the beginning of the tape. Same thing goes for pressing stop and right. You're just gonna skip to the end of the tape instead. Look, stop, right? Whoa, a little different here. We get to the end of the last piece of recorded tape, and we can take it from there, motherfucker. Say we want to fast forward or reverse faster. Just press fast forward, play, see how fast that goes. Ain't that amazing? We can do the same thing with rewind. Wow. Quick navigation tip mastery skill set tools. If you know me, you know I'm very fond of the dirty lo-fi type sound. Like say, that comes from the low sample rates of the SP1200 and Sonic EPS. Samplers of that nature where pitching down the sound or up would bring a lot of artifacts to it because of the interpolation. We can simulate this effect on this very OP-1 and it actually sounds really radical. I love it. I have this little beat here. Now, similar to what we would do on one of these old ass samplers to buy ourselves some more free sampling time, which would be by speeding up the record, sampling it into the sampler and speeding it back down, is what we're going to do here on the OP-1. We're going to speed the sample up. Let's go real nice and fast here. Depending on which speed you have, it's going to have a different result. Then we're going to use the vinyl resampling to resample it at this very speed that we chose of the tape. I already sampled it into the vinyl, so now we're going to sample it back to tape. Wow, so fast. Now, we can lift this into the sampler and bring that shit back down, hun. Whichever one you want, synth sampler or drum sampler. We're gonna go with the drum sampler. Playing back the sample to make sure it's in health and all right. And we're gonna pitch it back down in the sampler with a blue knob. Oh yeah, you can hear the lo-fi effect already. See, the lower we go, the more dirty the show. Perfect. Maximum use of pattern sequencer. The pattern sequencer is limited to only one bar, but we can squeeze a little bit more out of it though by using extra special technique. Now I'm going to demonstrate how to do that. Let's set the BPM. That's going to be our core BPM. We're setting it to 90. And now we're going to make a simple drum pattern. A 1-bar drum pattern. Using here the drum machine. Gone, kick, snare, kick, snare. The resolution of the pattern sequencer is always going to be 16ths, and you cannot change this. So at 90, we're going to have 16ths. But if we should want an even higher resolution on something else, say the hi-hats or another drum sound, some sort of percussion that requires a higher resolution, on the contrary to the kick and the drum, we can do this. Let's lay the kick and the snare down first. See, the kick and the snare, we don't need a higher resolution. So we can do this in 90. Now let's erase this and change the BPM. Let us double it to 180. This is going to mean we have 30 seconds in one bar. Well, it's going to be half a bar if we think of it as doing one bar in 90 BPM. So we're doing the hi-hats in 32s now. Pretty much. It's the same thing. You know what I'm saying? High resolution, hi-hats. Now another cool thing. See here, high resolution. The other cool thing I was going to tell you about. Once we have the pattern sequencer activate, go back to the tape, we can play it in different pitches. It's going to stay in the same tempo, but play in different pitches. Make it for a nice variation of the soundscape. You can also go the other way, of course. Lower the resolution. If we bring it back to 45, which is half of 90, we're going to have 2 bars, but only in eighths. So the resolution in the sequencer will basically be in eighths, if you're thinking of it as if you're using 90 as the base BPM. So we can't go quite as fast, but maybe this is all we need. So it would make sense for us to make a more maximum use of the pattern sequencer. Since we don't need a higher resolution, we can have more variation since we have 2 bars to work with. Got 2 bars to work with, and it's in 90 BPM. 45 is 90. 180 is 90. We know this. So what I like to do is to make the bass skeletor of the beat. Perchance make the outline with halving the BPM, so I have 2 bars to work with. Or if it's a more very groove oriented thing, I make a higher resolution and experiment with the swing of it a lot. And make a small little loop that you can develop from. Okay, thank you.